Hi, this is Julia M. Spencer, real estate advisor, investor, and enthusiast, and I am driving right now to the beautiful Sunshine State of Florida. Although, as you can see, it's not very not very sunny at all, and that's not funny either, actually. And kind of stuck in traffic, so I had a thought to make this video to explain a little bit something that probably isn't explained. Actually, I've never seen it in any textbooks at all regarding tax sale foreclosures. Now, as you know, the state of Georgia, where I live currently, is a tax lien state versus Florida being a tax deed state. And one of my properties that I just recently obtained through a tax sale is in Georgia through a tax lien. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the timeline because some of the things at the end aren't usually explained, and I wanted to tell you how long it actually takes to obtain a property and own it once you buy it at the tax sale, pending, of course, there's no interference with the process. So once you purchase a property in the state of Georgia at a tax lien foreclosure sale, you're actually purchasing a lien against the property. It's a tax lien. Technically, you don't own the property, and you also can't use it for that year that is the redemption period. You have a 1-year redemption period. So from the date of the sale that you get that property, you pay for it, then you have to wait a year before you can do anything with it. That's kind of like the gray year, the way I call it, because you kind of own the property, you're responsible for it, you're responsible for the taxes, you're also responsible to keep the outside nice, or else the city or the county will fine you, but you really have no use of it. You cannot physically go in, you can't evict anybody, you can't take ownership of the property, even if it's vacant, you really shouldn't go in there, and that's pretty much how that whole year you pretty much have to wait to see if the original owners want to take the property back, that is, redeem it plus your premium, which is 20%, or if once the time runs up, what the next step is. Now, what happens though after that year is up, you should scope out a lawyer if you don't have one already, or a law professional who can then file what is called bar of redemption. It's a legal proceeding where basically the attorney will do a title search of your property to see who owns it, and that may take a while, might take sometimes a month, especially if the property is in some sort of probate process where the original owners have died and the actual descendants haven't been located or can't be located. So there's going to be a title search. You have to pay for that title search. It costs me, the last one cost me about $175. So the lawyer does that title search. Once they get the title search results back, they will then go to the sheriff and basically file a bar of redemption proceeding. So basically, the owners are then notified, and any inhabitants of that property, if there's any tenants or anything, to vacate the property by a certain time frame. And at the same time, that property is then also advertised in the local newspaper, the legal organ of that county, for 4 consecutive weeks. It has to be 4 weeks. And basically, that bar of redemption notice will basically say, hey, I bought this property at such and such date, the year is up, I want to bar you from redeeming this property, and I'm giving you notice for that. So if you want to get it back at this point, you can still do that. However, now the percentage, of course, goes up. I believe in the state of Georgia it's 30% after a year, and the attorney costs are also added. So the original owners are given every possible opportunity to get the property back. It's not like stealing the property. They will know what they have to do to get the property back, and if they don't want to get it at that point, then it's pretty much your property. Now, what happens so after this bar of redemption notice is published in the newspaper for the 4 consecutive weeks? Once the 4 consecutive weeks are up, and actually at the same time too, once a sheriff serves the original owners with an attempt to collect this money to redeem this property, they will give you a date. The sheriff will, to the lawyers, saying that within 30 days, and this is your date, after which you have barred redemption. And let me give you a little bit of the timeline. I purchased the property in November 4th, 2014. The 1-year redemption period was up November 4th, 2015. Now I hired a lawyer right away. It took him a while to do the title search. We are now, and after running it for 4 consecutive weeks, and we did one, I think it took a whole month to do title search. Then it took another whole month for the publication. And now we are at the very beginning of February of 2016, where 1-year redemption period is up, 4 weeks of advertising has been done, and now, just now, the lawyers have come back to me and said, we finally got the affidavit of publication. And note this, because I actually just learned this by doing, this is not in any textbooks or anything, but in the state of Georgia, you basically, the newspaper, the legal organ of that county, will then send the lawyers an affidavit of publication. What that is basically a proof that from the newspaper to the lawyers saying, yes, we ran this ad in the paper for 4 consecutive weeks, and these are the days that it was ran in this paper, in this section, and it was legally done. The public was informed, the owners were informed, everybody knew what they had to do to redeem this property. And I'm giving you this affidavit of publication. Now the lawyers can take that affidavit of publication plus their paperwork, their bar of redemption paperwork, and any of the tax sale information. They take all these documents, they accumulate everything and organize it, and then they take it to the courthouse and have the courthouse court recorders actually officially scan them into their systems and officially file them at the courthouse, so that they're always visible by anybody that wants to view the records of this particular property. So even though there's a 1-year redemption period in a state like Georgia after a tax lien sale, there's possibly another 2 to 3 months before the property is actually 1,000% technically yours. Now, as of a couple days ago, when they filed it at the courthouse, now I actually am the legal 100% owner of this property, and I can now sell it to anybody I want to. I can rent it, I can go in there. I no longer have any restrictions on any of that. However, one thing that I wanted to add to this is that if there are tenants living in that property still at this time, in my case there aren't, but if there were, I would still have to go through the process of making sure that I evict these tenants, if I want to remove them obviously, through the proper proceedings. And again, that would be an eviction notice would have to be filed with the county, they have to be served, blah blah blah. All of that takes another month and a half. So even though technically there's a 1-year redemption period for a property like that, there's a couple other things, legal things, that have to happen afterwards before you can technically take ownership of that property, sell it, rent it, and start making money with your new asset. And we're moving again, we're out of traffic. Thank you for listening to this recording. For more information like this, go to my YouTube channel, type in Julia M. Spencer. M stands for money. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and go to my website. It's juliamspencer.com. Subscribe to my newsletter there and download your free guide to real estate investing today.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.